Good evening. I am Mr. Fister. Mr. Fister. Today I will be showing you how to create artwork out of simple photography. I will do this using Photoshop. Photoshop is one of the most powerful tools you can use in order to modify photography. Lately it's also being used to manipulate video, but we will not go into the video right now. We will start with the photography. Now, I use a DSLR camera in order to capture my images, and it captures images in a RAW format, RAW. This is a highly compressed format that has very detailed layers of, well, color. So, Photoshop has a built-in plugin now that's called the RAW plugin. Well, I hope so. I'm not really sure. Anyway, I will be opening an image that is a RAW format. Like this. You take it and you pull it. Oh wait, maybe I should start Photoshop first though, right? Yeah. Click, we start Photoshop. We're using the CS6. So this is a standard, layout of the Photoshop. Now, for the image, you pull it on a Photoshop icon, you put it in the window, and there it is. Now this is an image of cherry juice mixed with ketchup and ragu sauce for the macaroni. Now I use the toilet here in order to be able to flush it down quickly because I do not want to make a mess anywhere else on the ground of the house. So this is the standard interface for the RAW format pictures. As you can see, when you zoom in, there's a lot of fine detail in the image. You see, I was making this image with a built-in flash on the camera, thus we have these extremely vibrant highlights. Yes? Yes. So, what do we want out of this image? We want to create art out of it. In order to be art, people must not know that it's in a toilet, because it's repulsive, even though it's, ragu sauce with ketchup. So what we do is zoom in on the fine texture. You see here? Fine texture. Very fine texture. Okay, let's just zoom out a little bit. It's too close. And you can also see the brilliant, gradients of color from the clear toilet porcelain to the slightly slimy and then to the very, solidish composition of this ragu sauce with ketchup. What we want though is to create something that's going to be highlighting a whole lot of different layers. So we will zoom out. 50% is fine, but we will go to the fit and view. Now, toilet is excellent because it's white, so when you add a little bit of exposure, you see it changes to a nice little background. So everything on the white background pops. It pops immediately. Now, in order to get this fine detail, we will add some clarity to it. You see? Yes, it's excellent. And it doesn't lose this gradient between the solid and the not so solid, so it's good. Excuse me, I ate something bad. Now, in order to continue with this, we must analyze the structure. Are these highlights too much? Well, we can always reduce the highlights a bit. You see, as you do, you get a little bit more softness. And when you add shadow, it just gives it that rich color of texture. Black, you don't really want to touch black right now because it ruins the image a little bit or too much. It's basically almost like using the contrast slider, but the contrast slider makes it look more ketchup-y versus, bloody. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I received a Viber message. Okay, let's continue. So what we have here is something I can work with. Let's fit it in view. See, it's still kind of white, but we have here the other tab called tone curve, where we can add some more highlights, so the white becomes whiter, but it doesn't really destroy everything else that's light or mid-tone or dark. It just goes to the highlight, to the very white. You see, it's very, very vibrant right now in the white area. We will keep it like this. If anything, we'll do a little bit of lens vignetting, or however you call this. Just, yeah, you see? And yes, the quality of the image, it's brilliant. And I was only using a kit lens because, well, kit lens is okay. I didn't have to use anything else. Now, we shall open this image, like so. So now it converts the raw image into a JPEG which can be used in Photoshop. And now we create magic. Look at this fine detail, this exquisite detail. This is perfection. We can really create art out of this. So, framing is key. You don't want to see the toilet, so we will duplicate the existing layer and use the move tool in order to manipulate it. Now, you grab it with a shift key so it doesn't lose proportion as you enlarge it. And now we can hide the busy bits like so. And now we can stretch it a little bit. And by God, look at this. This is marvelous. This is something. This is strange. Yes? Yes, we will flatten this image because we don't need any additional layers anymore. This is just fine. Now, there is a little bit here that's really bothering me. It's a piece of toilet which we don't want to see. We want the whiteness of the background. So, we will use the dodge tool. Dodge tool usually highlights things, so we should take it to the highlights and add a little bit of percentage. 58 is fine, and it's gone. 2 clicks and a couple of swipes and you've got yourself magic. Now, how can we make this better? How can we make people think, what is this? Well, one of the tricks would be to invert the image. So we'll create a new layer so we do not sacrifice the original one, and we shall invert the image on this copy of the layer. Wow, just look at this. It is beautiful, isn't it? Is it too green though? Is it too cayenne for your liking? Well, image adjustments, and you go to hue saturation. Because this is a high quality image, this slider can make dramatic changes. Just look how much color you get in this instance. But we'll go for something less extreme, something more pleasing to the eye. As you can see, this is great. Look at the little details that pop out, the green details. Oh wow, you can almost, yes, you can see a little heart in the middle here. Can you see a little heart? Look at it. It's a heart right here. Perfect. It's the little details that make the art beautiful. But let's do something with the green. Maybe we want to do something more, not to be green. We will go to hue saturation again. And we'll say greens, but we will pick the green level with this eyedrop tool, like so. And you see, you can already modify it. Now, we could go for something like this, and we can add the threshold to be more or less, ooh, too much. Look at this. Now you have tiny little details of the light flash in the ragu enriched with ketchup. This is what true art is, you see? This is perfect. So, could you ever say that this came to be in a toilet? I don't think you could. You can always guess, what is it? How did it get there? Did the aliens come on Earth? However, oh, here we go. The little bit that went through. You see this? This spillage of not completely white background that was inverted to black? You take the brush tool. You pick the black color and you brush it away. There we go. Perfect. We sacrificed one little drip of the ragu sauce with ketchup, but by golly, we got this wonderful, wonderful thing in its place. Now, you can go with curves, you can play around, adding more highlight, adding less shadow to more shadow. You see, you can get this, there we go. Perfect blend of millions of colors. So, this is how you create art. I am Mr. Fister. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. And remember, great art comes from simple things. Till next time, I am Mr. Fister. Farewell.